The following podcast features half-biased and controversial sports takes. All predictions are simply predictions, and we truly don't know what will happen. We will try our best to keep you entertained, but no guarantees. We appreciate you taking time out of your day to listen to our show. Much love, Ripper Brands.
How we doing? Ethan Rose, Elson Gratz with you. Ripper Podcast, episode 67 of the pod. Elson, how we doing, my man? How we doing? How's Tulsa? I know that the snow is gone. You said before the episode that you got a sunburn today. Congratulations. Welcome back to reality. Welcome back to the college life. I know you got your little vacation. How's life treating you?
2 days ago, there was snow on the ground. Right now, feels like it's 90 degrees out there. I got to say, I do love being able to bust out the T-shirt finally. Even in Tulsa, we do have a real winter, so it's been sweatshirts. Feels nice. Feels nice.
Yeah, very jealous of you. While we have been pretty lucky around here with some nice warmer weather, a little bit of a gloomy day, kind of got back to the high 30s today, but I think we're trending in the right direction. I think we're getting there. I mean, yesterday and Monday, it was like 50 around here, so we're getting there. And we're also getting to the point now in the pod, you can see some daylight behind us. Still some dead trees back there, but you can see Elson's a little bit of daylight, a little bit of the sidewalk that we saw some people walking on last week.
Does Milwaukee have like the big smokestack that I swear all the UW schools that I toured have?
I don't know.
They all got one building with like the huge smokestack.
They probably do.
Got it. Whitewater's got it.
They probably do. I don't know. I guess I never noticed it.
Gotcha. It'd make a very scenic part of the background, part of the skyline.
Yeah, we'll see. That would be pretty cool. We got a fun one today, Elson. AB going to join us in a little bit. He's our first, I guess, I don't know what you want to call it, current high school athlete on the pod. Joining us, we're super excited to talk to him. It's playoff season in high school basketball. We got our rankings to reveal. The girls are in round 2, I guess, of regionals, if you will. And then the boys, we got a couple games. And then next Tuesday, we have the first round of regionals. For the boys' side, we got the Mexico Open that we'll recap, preview a little bit of the Cognizant Classic. Also, we had a pretty good week last week in some fantasy golf. So we needed that. March Madness, we'll do a little bracketology as that's just right around the corner. And we'll wrap it up with Elson and I's 1.0 mock draft. We're still figuring it out. We'll talk about it when we get there, how we want to do it. But Elson and I 1.0s are out. We're pumped. We're super excited. It's officially draft season. Before we get into the episode, I know you're as eager as I am. Before we get into it, we do have our new headwear drop for spring out now. You can pre-order online through the end of the weekend, so Sunday. Pre-order online at ripperbrands.net. You got the 2 rope hats that you can see up top, multiple different colorways, by the way. You got the performance hats on the bottom, and then there's also the side logo, more of an unstructured hat as well. So a lot of cool things that you can go on. You can get those pre-ordered, and then the official drop will go live in a couple weeks when everything gets produced and we're at a point to be able to launch that. Super excited for that. Getting you ready for golf season, so you make sure you look good doing that. But a man that's always looking good, Elson. I mean, this guy doesn't need some fancy dancy Ripper Brands hat to look good on the golf course.
He should buy it anyway.
He probably should. I mean, yeah, he probably should. But hey, this guy put on a phenomenal season for the Cheesemakers, Defensive Player of the Year in the Rock Valley Conference. Ladies and gentlemen, may I welcome you to the screen, Aaron Benzschawel. Welcome to the show.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me.
Hey, B, how was school today? I mean, it's a Wednesday in high school. How was it?
I mean, just your typical Wednesday at MHS. Not a whole lot going on, in our amazing school, but pretty average.
Good.
This is something I never thought I'd be asking as a college student, but does Wing Wednesday still exist?
Oh, yeah. I got myself some good wings today. Yes, sir.
Nice. Makes every Wednesday better.
Typically in launch, we today is a donut day, right? Did we consume any donuts today, or is that ship kind of sailed?
No, that ship has sailed, and believe me, I think about it every Wednesday. Although I was lucky enough, Monday, Ms. Bartles brought into our college accounting class some donuts, so I got to feast on those a little bit.
There you go. Shout out Ms. Bartles, future guest on the pod. She's coming on soon.
Yes.
Yeah. Lucky you. All right, let's talk a little bit about you. Let's talk a little sports, what the people want to hear. You had a Cheesemaker has had a successful football season this past year, winning conference. Obviously, being moved up to Division II and not having the playoff success we were looking for. But a couple months removed, how are you feeling about your season?
Oh, it was up and down. It was obviously really fun. Senior year, you always look back and it's really fun. Started 0-2, in the non-conference play, losing 7-6 to Lodi was tough, but rattled off 7 straight wins in the Rock, run the Rock, baby. Got the dub in the conference and fell short in round 1, but still a good season.
Yeah, no doubt. So you're an edge rusher by day, and sometimes they call you a tight end, running back, wide receiver, quarterback. Really kind of by night.
The entire team.
Whatever you want to say on offense. But defensively, you won Defense Player of the Year in the Rock. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Did you get any All-State recognition?
I got All-Region, and I was honorable mention All-State.
Man. Got that right there.
Kind of got snubbed. But thanks.
Yeah, snubbed. AB got snubbed. But okay, Defensive Player of the Year in the Rock. As a big-time edge rusher, how much do you hate quarterbacks?
Well, I guess it depends the school, But I don't say I have a burning hatred for them, but it's my job to get them on the ground. So at the end of the day, that's what you got to do.
It's business.
Yeah. Understandable. I get it.
Do you hate the tackle or the quarterback more?
Oh, I definitely hate the tackle more. Oh man, there's some games where Delvin Darien last year, there's at number 50 left tackle. Oh man, he talked a lot of trash and he held a lot. And refs, didn't really call it, but it's probably just my bias as a defensive guy. But definitely hating the tackles.
You're talking like last year, like your senior year or my junior year, or your junior?
No, this past year, my senior year. Right. Yeah.
Because do you guys remember the Delvin Darien coach's kid kind of guy? That was the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
But AB does. That was the whole deal when we played them. And then in baseball, you remember when I ran into that dude at first base, that big guy when we played Delvin?
Oh, absolutely.
That was him.
That guy?
That guy. Yeah.
Oh, I get it.
He was clearly in my way. Like there was no physical way for me to run straight and touch the base.
Your only choice.
I do have a little bit of hatred for that man. I don't know if he's watching.
Well, he was a big guy too. He was pretty.
I know. I don't remember if I definitely didn't put him on the ground, but I don't think I got much movement on him.
You approached it wrong from a technical standpoint. You got to throw a cut block. Go at the knees. That's strategy.
Should just dove right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't a good move. The coach is one of our Geisler. He was telling me you might get thrown at your next step because they were just like, oh boy. But no. Anyways, all right. Golf season coming up. We were just talking about that before the show. How are we feeling about that? You think you got a good look here coming up in the spring?
Oh yeah, definitely. We're running it back from last year. Didn't graduate anybody, so we're bringing back the squad and looking ahead at our regional. We playing at Evansville, which is a familiar course. We usually play there about once a year. And looking at the teams, there's no world beaters at the regional, so hopefully we can pencil in a little sectional run at least in our calendar.
Which one of those sports is like your true passion?
Oh, football's 1A for me, but golf is not neglected for sure.
How to go around with the good old golf? Hey, a little bit of golf. Have you watched Full Swing yet? If so, what are your thoughts?
I haven't actually checked it out yet. I've heard good things, but no, I haven't checked that out yet. I've been meaning to.
Yeah, I'm on. I think. On behalf of my History 2-hour lecture today, I did get some good progress on the show. I think it maybe episode 4 or something. Yeah, I've been watching a lot. It's very good. Definitely recommend. Elson, have you tuned in at all?
What's Full Swing?
Okay, we're gonna move on. It's a golf documentary. I mean, this is embarrassing, dude.
Elson, buddy, come on.
History golf, like on the golfers, like on a golf tournament.
Oh, it's like did you watch wide receiver or quarterbacks on it?
Oh, now
it's like that, but for golf.
They follow along professional golfers.
That sounds thrilling.
It's awesome. It's really, really good. You should watch.
It is.
You can watch that, and then you will basically know everything if you decide to watch real golf tournament.
Is that like on Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, good to know.
All right, there you go. All right, let's get in a little bit of some of the big time sports. A little bit of Packers. AB, what does an ideal Packers off season look like to you?
Well, at the end of the season, Brian Gutekunst said that they got to be aggressive and that you got to have some urgency to win a championship, which is kind of out of character for him. Usually he's kind of we'll draft and develop, maybe pick up a few small guys. So I'm hoping after that comment we can maybe make a couple big swings. I love to trade for Myles Garrett or Max Crosby, but I know, I'm not expecting that. And I mean, we could use a veteran wide receiver. I don't think that's like a huge need. I really wouldn't be opposed to bringing in Devontae Adams. I know, like, if we bring him in for a good number, I think he would be a solid guy to bring in. T. Higgins, I don't even think that's in the realm of possibility. He's just going to be too expensive, so I don't think the Packers can get him. But yeah, I mean, our top 3 needs, in my opinion, are O-line, corner, and receiver. So if we can get throughout the draft, first round corner and then pick up a veteran wide receiver and draft a good edge rusher, any of those combinations would be good offseason.
What are we looking in the draft, though? I heard something that Goodkin said, even though the draft is in Green Bay, there's potential of trading that first round pick. Are we in favor of that, or what are we trying to how do we feel about going depth, or are we trying to get a star?
Well, to me, if we do trade away that first round pick, I think we should wait till draft night to do it. That way, at least there's, first round day one buzz around the draft and the Packers. So I either think we keep the first round pick or trade it draft night. But I mean, if we trade a first round pick for Myles Garrett, I'm not going to be disappointed. But if we draft a solid corner or a good receiver day one, then I'll be happy with that too.
Elson, you can chime into this too. I know you got loads of feelings. How do you feel?
I want to hate on like a Myles Garrett trade or Devontae Adams trade and say that's never going to happen. And it probably won't. But when you think about it, I actually really like both moves. I think that we're missing like that 1A as a pass rusher. And Myles Garrett is probably the best pass rusher in the NFL. And we have 4 wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 type of guys. I think Adams is still a good enough one. You slot him into that room and instantly I think the offense gets way better. As for the draft pick, I think you're totally right. I don't think that they're like dying to get out of the first round. I think that either you wait or more than likely that's probably just some GM speak and they take a player. That would be my guess. If I had to really zero in on a player, it'd be an athletic guy from Georgia who plays defense.
That's
typically how it goes.
That is who I have them picking in my mock draft.
Can't wait to hear it.
We'll talk about that in a little bit as well. Dude, look, I mean, this is some fantastic Green Bay Packer analysis out of you two. I can't name a better duo to provide that information. I mean,
yes, sir.
I could care less, to be honest. I was just asking for the viewers. I mean, I'll tell you what I want the Packers to do, but I could care less what they do. They don't affect me. We're not scared of the Packers. They're not. The Packers are not
scared.
On the road as the Cowboys.
We're going to be in the playoffs and you're not is the issue.
Yep.
So you're correct about the not being affected part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're driving down Highway 69 right now, and for us, the Cowboys are leaving Monroe, and the destination is the Super Bowl, and Green Bay is not in the middle. Let's just
really.
Make that clear.
I feel like I got lost in that analogy.
Well, I was gonna go with the route of I forgot off the top of my head which city Highway 69 goes to. New Glarus, right? The I-69 rivalry. Yeah.
Yep.
I was gonna compare the Super Bowl to New Glarus, but then in the process, I kind of forgot where I was going with that. So we kind of had to turn that into a curveball a little bit instead of just throwing the heater right at you. So
Rosie, I got a question for you then. So if you think you're going to the Super Bowl, then I mean, what's going to change? Like, what's going to change from last year to this year?
Our head coach and our owners a year
old. He was your offensive coordinator.
Our head coach.
Okay. Did he even call the plays in Dallas?
No, Big Mike did.
Oh, Big Mike did.
What does he do? Is kind of my question.
What, our new guy?
Yeah, what did Schottenheimer do?
He was the quote-unquote offensive coordinator, but Big Mike was the play caller.
So OC in name only, and now he's the head coach.
Now he's the head coach, yeah. Have you heard the man talk?
I'm extremely excited.
Jason Garrett 2.0 and Mike McCarthy 2.0. Just, like a pretty good guy who's just going to get walked all over by Jerry Jones.
I mean, it's hard to deny that. I mean, I personally, I can't sit here and tell you that I'm ecstatic about hiring him, but I'm trying to find the good. I'm trying to find the good in it. I mean, it's not our best hire.
That is true.
Do I think he's better than Big Mike McCarthy? No, I don't. But here we are. This is the opportunity that we have. It's going to be the best for our team. Maybe we just need a new switch We need to get the run game going. Hasn't been working. We're going to get a new running back. We're going to get literally Ezekiel Elliott 2.0 in his prime. That's actually going to last. Like, I'm fired up. I mean, you got to have optimism. You got to see the light at the end of the tunnel. You got to understand what the likelihood of success is at the other side. And if it's not, oh well. And we get ourselves into a good cycle of hiring new head coaches. That's how I feel.
Aaron, are you sold? Is this their year?
So that's what I'm hearing. Is this year's is their year? So
finally,
you can go book your
Cowboys
Super
fans
Bowl
everywhere
tickets.
Rejoice.
It's about time. I mean, we're still going to be competitive. I mean, Dak's entering. I think Dak will be this is Dak's third head coach now. Third, I think it would be this is probably his fourth offensive coordinator. When we made the switch to Big Mike's offensive plan, because when Kellen Moore left, Big Mike was actually calling plays then. When we made that switch, he strived in year one. I think Dak's set up. If he stays healthy, I think he'll have a really good year this year. And I think a run game, if we do actually get Genty, the run game is going to be huge. We're going to address our wide receiver 2 need, whether that's a trade, free agency, or draft. I'm optimistic. I think the offense, this is kind of that transition in the cycle now, which the cycle hasn't resulted in playoff success. That's a fact. But we're at that point now where we add talent and the offense boosts. And now, hopefully, I mean, Eberflus is a good D coordinator. As long as he's not in control of the timeouts, he's a good coach. And so I think, I mean, you can't be mad at me for having optimism. I mean, I have as much optimism about the Cowboys that you guys do about the Packers.
All right, more than enough Cowboys talk. Aaron, you're a Bucs fan? If so, how you feeling about the season?
First of all, heck yeah, big Bucs fan. Let's go Bucs. Second of all, the season's been weird. We started 2-8, and at that point, I'm thinking, okay, this is bad season. We might be trading Giannis at the deadline. We might have to tear it all down. But then we kind of got hot, righted the ship a little bit. Then maybe the worst day of my life, the trade deadline, trading Chris Middleton. That was a rough day for me. Chris Middleton, he's got a special place in my heart. But me personally, I didn't get the Kuzma trade. I mean, I do understand trading Chris Middleton. Like, I'm not just like a person who's like, we should never trade Chris, but I understand trading him. I just wish we could have gotten a better guy than Kuzma, who's shooting, like 28% from 3 and 40% from the field. And they say he's younger and athletic, but he's like, every time he drives to the rim, he throws the ball out of bounds. He's not that good of a shooter, and he's not really a playmaker. His defense may be slightly better, but I would have liked gotten somebody better than Kuzma for Chris.
I was also a big Chris Middleton fan. Just loved the way he played. Loved watching him growing up. What made him one of your favorite players? I'm interested in that, even though I agree with you that it was probably time.
Yeah, so for me, I don't know. It seems, you mentioned kind of watching him growing up. It seemed every time, over the years, I'd look at a Bucks game. I'm like, okay, I don't know that guy. I know that guy. Oh, I know that guy. I know Middleton and I know Giannis. Like, it seemed over the years, while the team all changed, those two were best friends and they were the constant. They were two high-level players. And on top of that, he's just a professional. He's not your typical NBA diva, immature, getting arrested, demanding more money, all this and that. And I love a good mid-range game. I think mid-range games are so underrated and undervalued in the NBA. So I think when you're hyper efficient and really good from the mid-range, it's really something beautiful to watch. And he was so good at that.
I'll be sad when Brook Lopez goes for a very similar reason.
He's another favorite of me too.
I would have rather seen Brook leave than Chris Middleton.
Well, that definitely, but yeah.
But I guess it's nice that we got Brook now that Bobby's a drug addict.
That was ridiculous. The drug that he accidentally took was basically the same one. It sounded the exact same, and then 25 games is outrageous.
One letter in the name is different. That's crazy. That's actually insane.
I mean, there's NBA players that break their girlfriends' faces in, and they get only like 5 more games than Bobby. The NBA as an organization frustrates me sometimes, but that's how it goes.
NBA season doesn't really matter until the playoffs. I think it's kind of gotten to that point, and it seems like, with the exception of maybe 1 to 2, maybe 3 teams, the same teams get in every year. So as long as your team's one of those teams, then you're pretty much set just to start paying. That's how I am. I'm a playoff basketball fan. And I still don't even watch all the playoff basketball games. But I will say I'm a bigger Bucks fan this year than I probably have being in Milwaukee than I have been in years past. So been to a preseason and been to a regular season so far. I would like to get more, but you know, times are busy and tickets are expensive. So, but yeah, as a Bucks overall, I think, I mean, they've kind of rebounded. I think what you said at the beginning, though, that it's a weird season, I think is a perfect way to kind of sum it up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, to me, the Bucks are at a point now where the regular season almost doesn't matter. I think every season is just judged on the postseason. I mean, you get Dame and Giannis, and I haven't been a big fan of the way the front office has handled things, you know, since the championship with, I don't know, just the roster construction. But I mean, it's at the point where everything's judged in the postseason. So I almost just kind of hold my thoughts about how the season goes until hopefully we win it or we're eliminated in the playoffs.
I feel very appreciative looking back that the Bucks actually did get over the hump and won a title, because there are a lot of sports teams that it's all in every year. It's all about the playoffs. And then when the window slams shut, you walk away without a championship. So that's a nice memory looking back.
Yeah.
Now, I have the most important question of the podcast for you coming up. Are you fluent in Spanish yet? Because it's about time, right?
You would think it's about time, but no, I'd say I'm far from fluent in Spanish. I mean, my grade in class is decent, but I struggle sometimes in there.
I'm in the same boat.
So the last question that we typically ask all of our guests, at least the last couple of weeks, has been related to the RGL. Now, by the sounds of it, I do believe that you are playing. That is not something I need to convince you of. So on that note, what is something that, like, what in the RGL, what does a satisfying season look like to you? What's the goal? How many, events are we trying to win? Are we trying to win the whole thing? What will Aaron Benzschawel be happy with his performance?
Honestly, as long as I just see steady improvement over the year, over the course of the season, and consistently towards the top of the leaderboard, and then hopefully, being in contention in a couple of those big tournaments, that'll be good enough for me.
What's the handicap looking like? What do you think you're going to come into the season with?
Coming into the season, I'm probably sitting at 12 handicap. Like to get that down a little more. Got me some new fitted irons over the winter, so trying to break those puppies in. So getting excited. There
you go. All right, AB, appreciate it. AB is going to stick around after the daily draft and make some basketball picks with us. So that'll be a little bit fun. But before we do that, let's get into the daily draft. This is probably, I don't know, Austin, is this your favorite part of the show?
It's up there.
It's got to be pretty close. Daily draft. We're going to be doing the worst fan bases, potentially the most annoying fan bases. We had a three-way tie last week between Kyle, Elson, and I, and so we all got a point. But I do remain with my 3-point lead. AB, you are representing our guests, so you got a little bit of ground to make up. But, hey, you got an opportunity here. I think the door is open for anybody. It'll be a 3-round snake draft. In honor of our guests, of you being our guest, we like to allow you to choose your draft pick. Would you like to go 1, 2, or 3?
Give me number 1 overall. Give me first overall.
He wins.
First overall. All right, Elson, you got a coin handy?
Yes, I do. We'll flip for it.
All right, you call it.
You want heads or tail? Oh, I get to call it?
You're calling it today.
All right, I made a nice one-handed grab out kind of over the mini fridge in my dorm room. I'm going to call tails, and we've got tails. We're going to take number 2 just in case Aaron makes a mistake with the first overall selection.
Okay. Here we go. I feel like let's just make this clear. Before the episode, they were taking shots. This is a 2v1 game here. I'm going to stand my ground. We're kind of backed up in the corner right now, but we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can manage. AB, take it away.
Okay, first overall, I really like to take your team, Rosie, but I gotta go Eagles fans. I mean, their whole. I mean, shout out Alex Hernandez, man. They're a whole another level of annoyance. I mean, I don't know if there's any other sports franchise in the world that has to grease up their lampposts whenever they win a big game or a championship. I mean, you read reports about after games of people just harassing opposing fans Or I heard a story one time actually of these Packer fans. It was when Favre, I think, was playing. It was in Philly, and there was a guy in a wheelchair, and he was wearing a Favre jersey, and the Eagles fans offered to push him up a ramp, and they said they let him fall back down the ramp unless he took off his Favre jersey. So I got to go Eagles there.
There's nothing good about Philadelphia. I think if there's they're my least favorite team they're like
division
literally
rival
out of
for
eternity.
Sure.
That's a great first overall pick. I don't care what Elson has to say. I like it. Elson, go away.
Well, okay, first of all, I do understand taking Philly first overall. Aaron, did you see the clip of the Packers fan getting harassed at the playoff game?
Yes.
Terrible. They're just all terrible
terrifying.
people. Alex Hernandez is the exception to the rule. Most dangerous. Sometimes. Outside of maybe the Raiders. With the second overall pick, man, this feels like a rare value at number 2. We're going to grab the Dallas Cowboys. This one is easy. It's self-explanatory. He's on the left side of my screen. I don't know where he's showing up to all our viewers, but it's that guy right there. He's the reason. He exemplifies what's wrong with Cowboys fans.
Why is that?
What, you want me to write a list?
Well, did you hear him? It's their year this year. What are you talking about? It's their year.
Can't wait to have this conversation again. 365 days.
All right, fine. With my first round pick, I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, no.
Because the guy that's in the middle of your screen is even the guy on the far right. I don't know where, like Elsa said, I don't know where you're standing, but where I'm looking, the guy in the middle and the guy on the right are the pure example of the epitome of a Green Bay Packer fan.
Agreed.
That's why.
What can I say? Bleed green and gold, baby.
Indeed. So now I guess it bounces back to me. And
whoa.
No. Oh, yeah, you got the snake.
That's a typical Green Bay Packer fan right there.
As a Cowboys fan, you really shouldn't get to pick again, but go ahead.
Yeah. With my next pick, I think I'm gonna go with the pick that I've got 2 I want to get. And I do think that I'm gonna go with Ohio State. I think that might get taken off the board. I am not Ohio State fan at all. I think it's not even a specific sport. It's just as a whole. There's nothing good about them. And being a Badger fan, being a Notre Dame fan, I had the same feelings from both sides. I think out of the other 100-some schools that are in this country, I think everybody can kind of agree that no one likes Ohio State people.
I had Ohio State on my list, and I was kind of thinking about why. And to me, it feels like Ohio State fans are like the bandwagon Patriot fans, but of the Big Ten. And that makes them immensely hateable. So they're wiped off my list, but I got to go Bears fans. And it's not just because I'm a Packers.
Brother.
It's a little bit because I'm a Packers fan, but I don't think that there's a saltier fan base. It's like their identity is FTP. Am I allowed to swear on this show? Can I spell that out? Or is this a family-friendly podcast?
Do what you want.
Their identity is fuck the Packers. It's not support the Bears. It's fuck the Packers. And I think that that's really, really lame. They're just kind of sad. 0 career 4,000-yard passers. Bears fans, write it in.
I'm going to have to add that to the disclaimer, the warning sign at the end of the beginning of the podcast. Elson occasionally swears.
Not child-friendly.
Seek permission before watching. There you go. AB, you got 2 picks. Take it away.
Okay. Well, first of all, Elson, I completely agree with that. I mean, Bears fans, man. I mean, they cling on to they finally beat us for the first time in like 5 years, even though they beat our backups on a walk-off field goal. So, I mean, congratulations, Bears fans. Anyway, okay. I got to go. If we're going any fan base, I got to take Celtics fans. I mean, they really grind my gears. I mean, they're an entitled fan base. Celtics win all those championships, and them and the Lakers are kind of, the high-end championship winners of the NBA. But, just Boston. Boston, to me, is Philly 2.0. Because, the people there, Patriots fans, all they've known is winning. Red Sox, all they know is winning. They're just entitled, little smug, and they just think, oh man, we're so much better than you in every way.
That whole area is like a black hole for good fandom.
Yeah, Northeast is tough. Northeast is tough.
All right, this next selection.
Hold on.
What are you doing?
What's wrong with
buddy?
you?
Trying to jump the gun.
You are really exemplifying my depiction of a Packers fan right now.
That's fair game.
Unreal. AB,
Go ahead, Aaron. I'm
AB,
so
on
sorry.
behalf of Elson, I apologize.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right. So with my next pick, you got to give me Chiefs fans. I mean, ever since the Chiefs rise to power, man. I mean, you got all these celebrities that are probably fake fans that are coming out there. Oh, I'm a Chiefs fan, and they're at the Super Bowl, and their fan base is starting to become entitled. And Patrick Mahomes is on track to be the GOAT. No, he's not. I mean, he's not. It's just, I hate the Chiefs. Chiefs are 1A hatred for me in the NFL, and then their fans are right there just chugging it along. So, ugh, I hate them.
This whole
Elson,
area is
you
like
may go ahead.
it's filled with rabid Chiefs fans, and I hate it because I can tell that they're real Chiefs fans, and I have to hear my professors say things like, "It looked like we were gonna lose, but we got to watch Patrick Mahomes lead a valiant comeback." That's something I actually heard to begin a class, and I threw up in my mouth a little bit, and then I went outside and threw up more in a garbage can. However, I'm not gonna make my pick here. I'm gonna try and right my wrongs. Ethan, go ahead.
What? I don't want. No, I want Mr. Irrelevant. Nice
All
try.
right, fair enough.
I'm not allowing you to do that. What you did
Fair
is
enough.
unacceptable.
So this might lose me the Instagram poll because this is kind of regional, but Oklahoma State fans are the lamest fans that they have, I think. I don't see anything redeeming about Oklahoma State. They have kind of like a small offshoot campus in Tulsa. You see a lot of people wearing OSU because, by the way, this is very confusing for me. OSU is Oklahoma State down here and not Ohio State. There's been a little bit of a learning curve there. It's just like hard-nosed fans of a really underachieving program year over year. It brought me a lot of catharsis to see how bad their football team was. Not against us. Against us, they won like 40-7, but it's kind of hard not to beat us 40-7. So we're going to take Oklahoma State. I'm so sick of seeing, is he Pistol Pete? Is that the mascot? I'm the one who should know that, but
Go Cowboys.
yeah, makes me sick.
That seems personal, Elson.
Oh, it's deeply personal. Like, OU is fine. I don't have any hatred for Oklahoma, but Oklahoma State, no bueno.
No bueno. I gotta say, AB's list is solid. Cowboys pick both. I mean, you picked two teams with the name Cowboys, Elson. I think your list was screwed at that point. I'm gonna take a team that I'm gonna hope maybe allows me to contend with AB. I'm gonna go with the LA Dodgers. And you kind of like. I'm between them and the Patriots just because they're kind of a fan base that gets things handed to them. But, like, MLB's different because there's legitimately no salary cap. So, like, they just spend as much money as they want on whoever they want, and it's not fair. I mean, is there a little jealousy with that? Yeah. But there's nothing good about the Dodgers. I think for me, they're probably outside of maybe the Cubs. Cubs fans are pretty low too. Cubs fans. They're pretty low on the totem pole for sure. But Dodgers, man, there's nothing good about the Dodgers. I'll take them. So there you go. Elson, do you think your list is at all credible?
Oh, I think it's fantastic. I like double dipping on the Cowboys. I like Elson's list. If I couldn't think of another team, I was planning to just pick the Dallas Cowboys twice regardless. They burned it.
Well, you basically did. You got the next best thing with Oklahoma State.
Are there any other Cowboy programs? Because if so, maybe I should swap out my Bears pick. Go for the Cowboys sweep.
Maybe. I don't know if there is. I can't think of any off the top.
If there are, we'll add him as an undrafted free agent. Okay. Just all the Cowboys. I have a monopoly on Cowboy sports teams hatred.
There you go.
Can't argue with two Cowboys and Bears.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. The lists go as Packers, Ohio State, Dodgers for me. Elson took the Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys, that is. Chicago Bears and the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Aaron went with the Eagles, the Celtics, and the Chiefs. So that will be posted on social media. You'll be able to vote on that and determine who you think has the best list. Winner gets 2 points. Second place gets 1 point, and Elson gets 0 points. Typically how it goes.
First of all, rude. But second, Aaron, you must have hated the Super Bowl this year.
Well, everybody did. See, actually, this was the first Super Bowl I enjoyed in quite some time because my hatred for the Chiefs team itself trumps by so much my hatred for the Eagles fans that I was actually, for the first time, like after that Super Bowl, I was actually on top of the world because I couldn't handle another Chiefs win. I mean, I mean, every year during the NFL season, a Chiefs loss is as good as a Packers win. You know, if the Chiefs lose, but the Packers lose, not a bad weekend. So, I mean, I was actually very okay with the Super Bowl.
Breaking up the three-peat was pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, AB, this is typically where we can say goodbye, but because you're going to stick around and make some game picks with us, we got to reveal our rankings. Also, AB, are you a consumer of the rankings, and do you approve? Do you think they're credible? A lot of people don't think that around Monroe.
I do take a look at them, but you know what? Of all the rankings in the southern Wisconsin area, I gotta say you guys are 1A for sure.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. All right, let's take a look at them. On that note, I mean, let's go. Not a lot of movement. Girls' side, obviously, they're a week into the playoffs, so there's not a whole lot of stuff going on. Some teams are not even playing anymore. And then on the boys' side, we had a couple teams flip-flop positions. Judah's hot, Elson. I know you're concerned, but they are hot. They are peaking at the right time. They're moving up in the rankings. So is Broadhead. Broadhead and Albany flip-flopping back. They moved last week, but now they are back to the original positions. But here we go. Judah, Monticello flipping at the 10 and 11 spots. That's your rankings. The boys are coming out with the playoffs next week. Elson, I think the plan is we're going to continue the rankings through the playoffs, and the team that remains at the top, at the end of the playoffs, they're the area champion, and then we'll have the all area team come out.
That's the most important championship. Like state title,
That's what I'm saying. Who cares about
area
state
championship?
Who cares
Absolutely.
about conference area? When you know the people. Like you go to Walmart and you see the people you're playing. When you do that, you don't do that in state. That's just
And
not
you pull up Instagram and you show them.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the day that there's a Walmart fight that pulls out because the 1 and 2 teams, Peck Argyle versus Albany Monticello, meet in Walmart because they're angry.
I'm surprised it hasn't already happened.
Well, maybe
Me
one day.
too.
Maybe we planted the seed and that tree will grow one day. Anyways, let's make some game picks. We got regional picks only. AB, this is kind of blind picking for you, but we got records and we got your high IQ. So we'll start it off. We got Broadhead taking on Platteville. Platteville looks extremely good. How do we want to do this? Do we go
Left or right?
Me first?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. No. Yeah.
I like
how does
that.
Game Day do it? I'm trying to think how College Game Day does it with their guests. Normally, I don't know. We'll just do left or right, whatever. I'll go Platteville. I don't. Like I said, we got to preface. We don't know anything about. AB knows some stuff about basketball. Elson and I don't know much, so this is pretty lighthearted. We'll see how this goes. But I think Broadhead had a good run. Congrats on a good season. But Platteville is going to beat the knocks out of you. I'll take Platteville.
Platteville, both my parents' alma mater. Terrible school. Picking Broadhead.
Wow.
I gotta go P Vegas here. I mean, I'm not that familiar with both teams, but I gotta look at the record. I mean, P Vegas gotta be heavy favorites there.
No doubt. We got this is a fun one. 2 area teams going at it in round 2 of the regionals. We got Darlington and Belleville going at it. Let's start with Elson. I'll announce the game, then we'll go to Elson, then AB and come back to me. I think it's just
Okay.
My head's spinning. All right, so on campus, there's a bell that you ring when you graduate, and if you touch it or ring it or anything before that, then you're going to flunk out, and those are just the rules. So I'm not going to get anywhere near touching a bell here. We're going to pick Darlington.
I gotta go Darlington as well. I mean, Darlington, they're a physical team. Monroe beat the brakes off them earlier in the year, which is nice. So, but they're gonna play physical, and they're gonna be looking for a couple of wins here coming down the stretch.
AB, I would normally just kind of move past this, but we are talking girls basketball. And I know
Oh,
damn
you know
well
what?
our girls basketball team did
I
not
didn't
beat
really know
Belleville.
either, to be fair.
I'm sorry, I should have prefaced that, but I know our girls basketball team ain't beating the snail. I'm sorry, but
Hey, never say never now.
We'll
Miracle
see.
on wood, baby.
Hey,
either way, it's their culture. Play physical. Give me Darlington.
all right, there you go. So this is I'm now in the 3 spot, which means I have to break a trend here. We got 2 picks, Darlington. We can't be made into a meme. I got Darlington. But Belleville's a good team too. I'll go Darlington. Clean sweep. I like Darlington. I think they're a gritty team. Their boys team beat our boys team, referring to Monroe. So that's the reason why the girls are going to win. That's my take. I like AB's model. We got New Glarus and Peck Argyle, another area versus area game. We'll do the same track. Also, what do you got?
Peck Argyle, a regional super team. I assume we're going to side with them.
I'm actually going to take the upset here. I gotta go New Glarus. I was in attendance for an Argyle game, girls Argyle game, not too long ago, and I was actually not super impressed. They got one girl who can really shoot, but other than that, I'm not too impressed. So I think New Glarus gets hot. They can beat them.
So they're overrated, you think?
A little bit.
Okay. I'm going to go Peck Argyle. Again, I don't know ball. The guy that has the most knowledge is saying they're overrated. I should probably understand and listen to what he's saying, but I'm not.
Yeah, well, I went to one game, but
I'll take Peck Argyle. I like what they do over there in Pecatonica. I like what they do. Yeah, Blackhawk and Belmont. This is a heavyweight battle right here. Blackhawk and Belmont, Nelson.
I see you trying to flunk me out. I'm not touching a bell. Blackhawk.
I'm gonna go Blackhawk too. They're pretty senior heavy, and I don't think they're gonna want to go out this early.
Considering the odds that someone from Belmont is probably watching our podcast, I'm going to take the opportunity and side with you guys. I got a clean sweep, taking the Blackhawk Warriors on the road against Belmont. If someone's watching from Belmont, kudos to them. But yeah, I'd say they're not. Ozaki taking on Albany Monticello, the Mac Daddy of the area.
Oh, this is tough, because this would be a big upset. However, if I want to describe how Wisconsin towns are named, and I was just going to piece one together from scratch, I think it would be Ozaki, which I have never heard of. Excellent name. They're my pick. Going down with the ship here.
We're just abandoning the alphabet theory.
Oh man, that's tough. Let's see. Ozaki has an A. The Z and the A. It's an aesthetic. Double E. You can make a strong case for Ozaki based on the alphabet.
You're not putting on a good show today, Elson. That's all I got to say. AB.
Yeah, I gotta be taking Albany Monticello here. You know, they state champs last year, I think, or at least made it. They're probably going back this year, so I'm taking them.
Yeah, they're a team that seem pretty good. I wanted to actually watch their game against Peck Argyle. Is that the game you went to, AB?
No, it was the Blackhawk Peck Argyle game.
Blackhawk Peck Argyle. I mean, still a pretty good game in that, right? But I wanted to go see the 1-2 game. Never made it. I think there was some TGL or something better to watch online. But AB, are you a TGL consumer?
I'm not. No.
You don't watch TGL, dude. You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it.
Maybe I should.
Something to do on Monday or Tuesday night. I'm recommending it for you. Watch TGL.
Okay.
Watch Full Swing. I'm telling you right now.
Okay.
Evansville taking on Edgerton, who seems crazy.
Well, considering I lit my last pick on fire and threw it in the trash, we're going to go with the better team here, Edgerton.
I'm going to hop on the Edgerton bandwagon there.
Yeah. Sorry, Evansville. I have to go with Edgerton, too. That's like me picking Judah over Albany Monticello. I have to. I'm sorry. That's all we got. Girls regionals round 2 will be going as sectionals after regionals. I think it is. And then we've got sectionals that'll be coming up. So actually, I believe the first round of sectionals, regionals is first round of sectionals would be, I believe, Tuesday. So we're not going to be able to pick those games, unfortunately, unless we do a special cut in on your local programming and make those picks before then. But probably
10-minute podcast.
Yeah, 10-minute podcast just to make the picks. But probably not going to happen. So we'll see you for the picks in round 2 of the sectionals. Hopefully we got teams to pick by then. Who knows? That's 2 games between now and that point. But let's go to the boys' side. Before the boys get into the playoffs, we got a doubleheader on Thursday. And that starts with the number 11 team, Monticello, that was just overtaken by Judah, taking on number 4, Pecatonica, Elson.
I got a prestigious record of picking these games to protect that fortunately we don't track, so I don't know for sure what it is. We're going to go with the better team, Pecatonica.
I'm going to follow that one up. Give me Pecatonica.
Yeah, I got Pecatonica too. Sorry, Monticello. According to Elson, Judah sucks and everything, but Judah is better than Monticello, so I will take Pecatonica. Blackhawk taking on Albany.
Going to side with Albany, no question.
Yeah, you got to go Albany here. For sure, Albany.
Kudos, shout out Blackhawk. They've got a couple wins in the last season, but they're doing well. They're in a rebuild. Understandable. Packer fans are used to that. I'll take
Okay,
Albany.
buddy.
Literally not at all. Like, we are the football
Never.
team known for not rebuilding, going from quarterback to quarterback to quarterback.
I'd say Blackhawk is the Las Vegas Raiders of high school basketball there.
Great
Ooh,
comp. That's why he's on the show.
Yep.
Oh boy! All right, boys regionals. This is coming up next Tuesday. We got Saint Ambrose Academy taking on Argyle.
How big is St. Ambrose?
Considering they're playing Argyle, probably not very big.
Is that where Michael Butler went?
Shout out Michael Butler. Could be.
Potential star basketball player on St. Ambrose Academy. Not totally sure. Just something I heard. Gonna go with Argyle.
Gotta go Argyle here.
Yeah, this is like me taking Blackhawk over Albany Monticello. I like the comparison. The alphabet theory does not necessarily apply here. I think it's the Saint period that is just throwing the whole thing off. It's technically like a 2v6 here, so I'll take Argyle. Is that favorable, Elson? I mean, is that reasonable theory?
I think it's excellent. The theory can be whatever you want it to be. That's the beauty of it.
Absolutely. We got a team that we kind of know well over here in Shullsburg taking on Albany.
Shout out my grandma's hometown. Shullsburg it is.
Yeah, this one's tough. Back and forth. 9-win team versus 10-win. I'm gonna go with the upset. Gotta go Shullsburg here.
Man, I wrote down Albany, but I really wanted to go Shullsburg, but I can't do it. I gotta have to. Shullsburg, shout out Bern. Anybody who's a Bern, that is like the Bern capital of the world. That's like my family's name, so that's why. Sorry for the context. But I'm gonna go. I gotta go Albany. I can't take that one. I can't get clean sleep on Shullsburg. It's too close of a matchup. This is like an 8 versus 9 in March Madness. You just don't know. I got to go Albany. Then we got Blackhawk, like the bad Blackhawk team, taking on Barneville. That I think, by the way, is that spelled right? According to what I've seen, it is, but Barneville seems spelled wrong to me.
I think it's right.
Okay,
That looks right to me.
They seem like a basketball school. What are we taking?
I haven't seen a nice big red barn in about 6 or 7 months. Barneveld it is. Miss it.
Yeah, you gotta go Barneveld here. I don't think we're looking at any historic upsets here.
Yeah, I haven't seen a nice big Black Hawk anywhere either in recent time.
One flew right overhead today.
Oh, really? I've actually seen some when I was at home. I saw a couple. They like to hang out around the house. I don't know. There's just dead animals around there or something. But anyways, I'll go Barneveld. They're a basketball school. No big red barns. I like the theory. Second to last, but
Belmont.
To last least. Okay. But Bell. Whoa. No bells, though.
I don't care. I will
You're
sacrifice
flunking.
my graduation.
Wow.
It's worth it.
Wow, dude. Wow.
Hey, Elson was confident in that pick. I gotta follow that up. Give me Belmont.
This is a game that and by the way, I think we have more than two. This is a game that I plan to take Judah. Judah's a hot team. They are rising their rankings. For a 5-14 team at this point, I don't know how they're playing an 11-12 team. A couple upsets must have happened. I like Judah. I like Judah. Huge upset, ringing the bell to Elson's graduation failure. I like Judah. Go Panthers. On that note,
why that's funny to me.
Monticello and Pecatonica.
I think the Pecatonica is actually bigger than the Arkansas River, which runs through Tulsa and has about a 3-foot water level. We'll go Pecatonica.
Give me Pecatonica.
I guess I think I got to go Pecatonica. Judah's better than Monticello. Pecatonica is better than Judah. I like Pecatonica. Second to last, but not second to last, Liz, we got Richland Center taking on Evansville.
I don't know that I've ever met an Evan that I liked in my life, but I dislike Richland Center more. Evansville.
So when Monroe played Evansville, I was in attendance, and I gotta say I was not impressed at all with Evansville. So give me Richland Center.
Again, the guy who knows ball, I'm not going to listen to him. I like Evansville. I think they got a chance. I don't know why, but they do. I personally don't have any issues with anybody named Evan. So sorry, Elson, but I'll go Evansville. I think they got a shot. Last but not least, Westby and Belleville.
Maybe if I stay away from the Bells on 3 out of 4, I still get to graduate. That's a passing grade after all. We'll go Westby.
Oh man, I gotta. This is a Browns Panthers matchup. Give me Belleville.
I like Belleville too, man. I think Westby, a place I couldn't tell you where it's at. My guess is on the west side of the state, but I like Belleville. Excuse me. I think Belleville's got a good shot. They're one game better than Westby. Belleville's a good team. They got good colors. I think the Wildcats. I don't have any other reasons why. Go Belleville. That's what
We're picking blind here as well, if you haven't picked up on that.
Yeah, there you go. We'll see. I have not done this yet, but I would love to see what our conversion percentage is on our picks also.
Go back and watch all the episodes. Be a great time.
That would be binge watch the Ripper podcast, pick up the picks, and then go and see. That could be a fun Sunday afternoon activity that I'm not going to partake in.
Me neither.
Seems like a lot of work. AB, thanks for joining. It's been a lot of fun. We'll have to get you back on soon. Good luck with golf. Hopefully we can see you in the state run. Let's make a run at state. What do you say? I think it's time.
That's the plan.
All right, AB, thanks for joining us. Good luck in the offseason with your Packers. Go Bucs the rest of the year, and we'll talk soon.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Yeah, see you, AB.
Thank you.
Aaron Benzschawel. Fun one. The first
for
guest.
50 minutes.
First guest stayed around to make picks with us. That's bold. That's not something most people are willing to do. But hey,
he put his reputation on the line.
Yeah, I mean, as a current athlete too. I mean, this is a guy. Yeah, I mean,
could have guys taking cheap shots at him in golf. They don't like his picks.
Yeah, maybe like moving his ball a little bit, or
maybe throwing the club.
Mm-hmm. Shout out AB, he's a good guy. We'll have to get him back on. That was fun. Knowledgeable man too. Knowledgeable man. All right, here we go. We got some. We're gonna take a commercial break. Actually, we don't normally do that right away.
False start.
Yeah, false start. Here we go. Back it up. We're gonna take a commercial break, but after the break, we're gonna get some golf, some March Madness, and then our NFL mock drafts. Here we go. I'm fired up. Ellison's fired up. We got a lot of fun here for you. Episode 67. On the other side. Remind you about the best sunflower seeds in the business. Baseball and softball season is right around the corner, and we want to make sure you are well prepared. Scan the QR code on your screen and check out Smackin' Sunflower Seeds. Get yourself some of the best seeds in the business. Do it now so you don't forget. Are you a fan of Grant Horvat or Ben Kruber? If so, you are in luck. Scan the QR code or head over to primalgolfapparel.com and use code RIPPER for 15% off your next order. Make sure you check them out and get yourself some of their high-quality golf apparel now.
The following podcast features half-biased and controversial sports takes. All predictions are simply predictions, and we truly don't know what will happen. We will try our best to keep you entertained, but no guarantees. We appreciate you taking time out of your day to listen to our show. Much love, Ripper Brands.
Welcome back to the River Podcast, episode 6-7 of the show. Ethan Rosenstiel, Elson Gratz with you. AB joined us in the first half of the show. A lot of fun chatting with him. Excited to get him back on at some point. We got a fun roster of guests lined up for the next couple weeks. Josh Ellingson, Elson, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but Eli Tomac is one of the best professional motocross racers in the world. Well, his head mechanic is from Monroe, Wisconsin, and my neighbor. His dad is my neighbor. So he's coming on the show.
It's official?
Yeah, it's official. He's coming on next week. Yeah, we've been working on that, trying to get him in. Kind of at a break in their season now. I believe Eli got hurt, so they kind of got a little bit of off period, but he'll be coming on next week. He's actually got something big to share that he's excited to talk about. And then we got some other local stars coming on, including Miss Bartles that we talked about. I mean, she's getting shout outs left and right so far.
Bringing the star power.
I know. I think we got guests through like the middle of April right now. I'm fired up. I'm excited that like we're at a point where we have guests lined up through April. I mean, the time of the year is great. We got people who want to come on the show, and we got warmer weather coming. Elson's getting sunburnt today after a week removed from a 3-day snow break. I mean, this is come on now.
What's going on, man? Honestly, though, this is the best.
Absolutely. Ripper Podcast, episode 67. We're getting there too. Let's get a little bit of golf. Mexico Open. It's one of those tournaments that like no one really cares about. I mean, it's just like kind of a boring tournament. It's usually one of those tournaments, though, that features the future stars of our league. We've seen guys like John Rahm, Tony Finau. Last year, Jake Knapp won it. Well, a guy I think by the name of Brian Campbell, I think was his name. I could be even wrong on that. He ended up winning it. First-time winner on the PGA Tour. Breakthrough win for him, a guy who's been at it for a while. Congratulations to him. There's not much to say about the tournament. I mean, it's kind of a typical year. The ratings have bounced back after last year that they were down a little bit. Just one of those tournaments. Enough to say. Let's keep moving. Cognizant Classic coming up this week. We got some fantasy golf to get to. Not a bad week last week. 425 points. We moved up over 1,000 spots in the rankings.
Top 15,000. Let's go.
Let's go. We're making moves, and I think we got a big one here. Out of all of the players, the best players in the field right now, I legitimately think we have the best starting lineup in the league possible. We got, I mean, all of these guys are going to get 3 times to use each one of these guys. We're set up for success. We got Shane Lowry leading the way as our captain. Austin Eckroat, defending champ. Jordan Spieth, he's back. Ricky Fowler's trying to be back. Max Gracerman, Bailey Horschel, 2 studs coming off the bench. I'm loving what we got. I think we got a phenomenal lineup. Elson, I think we're back.
You got Eckroat, Fowler, Spiel. You took the graphic down. That is a star-studded lineup. Spieth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what I'm talking about.
Exactly. You need to watch Full Swing, dude. I'm serious. You'll fall in love with the game.
Get hooked on golf.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Wouldn't put it past me.
I mean, we're kind of in that period right now. It's like the end of that, it's like a couple weeks until March Madness, between the Super Bowl and March Madness. Now we do have the Combine this weekend, but that's kind of like an acquired taste. I mean, we're kind of in that period right now where it's kind of a downtime. What better time to get into the game of golf a little bit?
Well, to give you some context as to where my mental state's at right now, right up until I hopped on the podcast 10 minutes before, we were watching Walter Nolan all 22. So
I don't even know what that is.
The coach's film angle of Ole Miss defensive tackle. It's got to be in your first round mock draft.
Walter Nolan. Okay, sorry. I thought that was some old movie or something. That's where I didn't put 2 and 2.
You don't got time for movies.
You're right. That's on me. That's my fault. Hey, let's get March Madness, though. That's something that's coming up. A lot of people are excited. Obviously, it is draft season. You and I are fired up about that. We'll get to that in just a moment. But we got March Madness. Most recent bracketology is here. Seeds 1, 2, 3, and 4 are Wisconsin Badgers on top of that number 3 list. Feeling good. A little bit of movement in the last couple of weeks, but we're getting there. Selection Sunday just a couple of weeks away. A lot of Big Ten teams, a lot of SEC teams. Elson, do we got any early predictions, or how we feel about bracketology so far?
So basically my introduction to the college basketball season, I got to watch my first chunk of a Badgers game live because they're not easy to catch down here. They're not biased toward the Badgers on TV or anything. And I swung over to one of the dorms, and one of my friends was casting the Badgers game on the big screen. And I got to watch the last 9 minutes of the game against Oregon. You remember the game I'm talking about?
I think they blew a lead, didn't they?
Catastrophically bad. Bad turnover. Player falls down on a cut on an inbounds on what should have put it away because Oregon missed the layup right in the paint, rimmed in and out. So, all right, we're going to escape with it. Cutter falls down. He's able to kind of swat it off the Oregon guy's leg as it's going out of bounds. So, all right, well, dodged a bullet there. Going to have another chance. And our cutter falls down again. I believe it's a different guy this time. Straight off the thigh, out of bounds. Oregon knocks down a three-pointer. Forgot who missed the jumper to potentially avoid overtime for us. Tough shot, and then the L in overtime. It was just the moment I turn on the Badgers, this is what we get in a year where the Badgers are fantastic. Gotten to see some of the highlights. Tough luck.
Yeah, hoping to see a nice little run for the Badgers. I think that'd be good to see.
I think they're a good team.
They're a solid team. I mean, they were at the high side of a second seed at one point, and I think they had that tough one against Oregon. I think there might have been another team that they fell to in the period of that time, but now they're kind of bouncing back. They're kind of getting a couple wins. I think they're gonna, they could potentially are peaking at the right time, heading into the Big Ten championship tournament, and then later into March Madness. So really good. Nice to have a team in it. You know what I mean? We got Marquette too a little bit. I don't know what the odds of them are. My UWM Milwaukee Panthers, for them to get in, they pretty much got to win their conference tournament. They were a game away from doing that last year, so we'll see. I think they got potential too. I think they're either second or third in conference standings right now, so not bad. Been winning some good games, so we'll see. Gonna try and catch the game tomorrow night. Big one against Oakland, I think, which is the team that knocked us out last year, actually. But big design project I got to hammer out. So we'll see if I can get that done in time. We'll see.
For Tulsa to get in, we just got to pay off the selection committee.
Yeah, I mean, I think the odds of doing that might be higher than Milwaukee winning their conference.
It's the only path. We don't have that kind of money.
No. And then NIL, them Tulsans are not getting the big money in the NIL like they want, or like OSU, the Cowboys, or the Sooners are getting right now.
New coaching staff apparently knows how to harness NIL. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Hey, NFL mock draft 1.0 time. Let's go. It's finally time to release the first mock draft. Mock draft 2.0 is going to come out in exactly 1 month from now, and then our 3.0 will come out the Wednesday before the draft. Elson, I got to say, me and my family, we're planning. We're trying to figure out how we're going to get to the draft. I got to say, if you obviously being in Oklahoma, probably going to be pretty tough for you to make it to Green Bay for the draft.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it sucks that it finally is in your state and you're gone. But if you wanted to watch the draft, go to the draft, what would be your ideal situation? Because for me personally, I would rather not go to the draft Thursday. I would rather watch Thursday on TV.
Thursday's day one, right?
Yes.
I think I wouldn't mind that, because that's when you're going to have the extreme crowds, just being able to sit back and watch the big picks happen online, be able to read all the reactions in real time. I think that would be nice. And then, day 2 or day 3, I mean, you get to see your team make more picks on day 3. And,
right.
As a real draft head like myself, that's where the ball knowledge shines. So I could annoy everybody in attendance talking about the upside of some 7th round cornerback. So that would be my ideal setup.
I think that the NFL draft's one of those that's better on TV. Like, if you think about what goes on in real life, like, you got 10 minutes plus every single, 10 minutes plus between every pick. And you're lucky to hear the professionals talking about it. They're showing film. You're seeing more of that. When you're in person, they play music. You're literally standing there looking at nothing. You just see someone make a pick, a guy come out, give Roger Goodell a hug, and then you stand there for another 10 minutes. I think it becomes a long night. And like you mentioned, Thursdays are a popular day. I think for me, Friday's the ideal day to show up. I think it'd be fun to watch on TV Thursday. You got all day Friday, lines with my class schedule well, all day Friday to go experience everything, the entire draft experience, what they have going, and then actually watch the draft that night. And then Saturday, from the comfort of your own home, being able to just, hang out and watch a little bit more. But I do think the NFL draft is one of those that the TV experience is better than the real life.
That might be the way to do it.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it's time to dive into this bad boy. 1.0, Austin, do we want to go back and forth, make a combined draft, or are we feeling we should just go pick by pick and share who we have at that? What's the best way to do?
Well, considering I came in with no mock draft made up because I didn't understand how we were going to do this, my bad. I think we go back and forth.
Okay, let's go back and forth. I like it.
Do you want
I didn't make a mock draft. I'll pull that up. Austin, you know how we did fantasy football, and we've been talking, we're going to do a March Madness contest. I think we got to do a mock draft contest. Are you in?
Oh, I totally agree.
I think so. I think that'd be fun. Well, we're going to work on that for sure. It's going to be a busy next couple of weeks for activities for the listeners, but it'll be a lot of fun. All right, here we go. Elson Gratz, back and forth. Do you want to take number 1? We'll have to go back from number 1 to 32. No trades, right? We'll probably eliminate the trade.
No trades. Not in the 1.0 for sure.
Yeah, not in the 1.0. I'm going to pull up. I'll let you take the first pick and do a little explanation. I got to pull up some big boards for this.
All right. So, Tennessee Titans, are the first overall pick, and there are a couple directions that usually see people go. It's usually Cam Ward, draft for value, draft the QB. Abdul Carter, I've officially wrapped up his eval. His combine, he's not going to run at the combine, but his like arm length measurements, his 40 time in his pro day, that stuff is going to matter because I don't view Abdul Carter as like this blue chip prospect after finishing up the All-22. So we're going to go with Travis Hunter, just if not a generational wide receiver, a corner prospect, a generational athlete. It's like you try him at two positions. He's got like a backup plan built in. I think he's the safest pick in the draft.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, Travis Hunter's, like I mentioned, I think I talked about this last week during the big board segment. I think he's going to revolutionize the NFL, being that two-way guy. We've seen it before. We saw his coach Dion do it. I mean, we've seen it before, but in this current generation, we don't see it often. I think he's going to specialize at the DB position and then turn himself. He's gonna get to be a very, very good DB. I think he's got upside of like a Pat Surtain kind of guy. He's going to specialize in that and then continue to slowly work himself into probably a more natural skill of his, which is being a wide receiver, the natural athleticism that he has, and they can continue to build a package out for him that will make him better. I think that's going to probably be the move for him. I like it a lot. I like the Travis Hunter pick.
All right, now you've got the Browns at number 2.
Yeah, I got the Browns, and this is going to be this interesting one because this is a team that pretty much could use anybody. Myles Garrett might be getting traded, but they're saying that he's not. I think they got to address quarterback. I think they have to. I think this is where Cam Ward goes off the board.
All right, I've got the PFF mock draft simulator up, so I'll go ahead and punch in Cam Ward. And now I've got the New York Giants at pick 3. And this is tough because I'm not going to pick Shedeur Sanders here. I am so far away from the top 5 hype on Shedeur Sanders. I'm not going to say that it's throwing a pick away because I think he can be a perfectly fine quarterback, but I think he's going to be the 20th, the 23rd, the 25th best QB in the NFL. And taking that in the top 5, the top 3 is just your team's one-way ticket to purgatory. Plus, you've got the, I don't want to call it like the off-field baggage, but you've got the he's Deion Sanders' son, and what's that going to do with the media market in New York factor? They might pick Shedeur here. I can't do that. I can't take Abdul Carter because they're already pretty good at edge. They've got Dexter Lawrence on the interior. You know what? This team's offensive line is a complete disaster. I'm going to take Will Campbell. I don't know if you play him at tackle or guard, but trust me, he's going to find a spot, and that's my pick.
You know, that's actually a really good pick. I think in my mock draft, I did have them go Abdul Carter. But I do actually really like tackle with Will Campbell. I think that'll be a good fit. I think it allows him to structure. I think New York's kind of a place with the point, I guess, Brian Dable's at and just the general level of productivity for the class. I think this first-round pick, I think maybe a bridge quarterback works out if they get someone maybe later rounds to see what that might look like. But I think Will Campbell's a good pick. I don't mind that at all. At the 4, we got New England now. Abdul Carter's sitting here. You're probably thinking like, Ethan, please take him. Is that what you're thinking right now?
If there were good linemen in this class, like if there were more blue chip type of linemen, I would say go line. I don't think you can go wrong with Abdul Carter, but there's another guy who I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we're thinking of the same guy. I think wide receiver is definitely a position of need. I think Tet McMillan fits these guys.
Same guy. I love it.
All right, good.
All right, and now I've got the Jags.
Duval.
Duval with the question marks it is. You can't go edge. Abdul Carter is still sitting here. In real life, a team is absolutely trading up for him. But for the Jags, we're going to go with Mason Graham.
Yep.
He's going to lock down that interior defensive line. I do think that this guy might not be Aaron Donald. Okay, he's not going to be Aaron Donald. He might not even be like a Dexter Lawrence or a Chris Jones. I don't know if he has that level of athleticism, but he's going to be really, really good for a long time. And he's going to do a lot for the culture there as well.
I think it's a great fit for him in Jacksonville. I think it's a good pick. I do struggle with seeing like kind of an offensive mindset, young head coach kind of wanting to go get his guy. So I think that this is honestly a position at 5. I honestly could totally see these first 3 picks going. Honestly, even first 4 probably. I honestly think that this top 5 is not going to look the same come draft day. I think that there are going to be moves between now and the beginning of the draft that change this lineup. I think that that's a likelihood just based on, they're saying like the number 1 guy, maybe not the number 1, but like the number 5 guy is just as good as the number 35 guy. So, I mean, it's a crazy deep draft class, and I could see teams wanting to move back and acquire draft picks and kind of build up that depth. So, who knows? But I got the Raiders at 6. This is one with Abdul Carter sitting there. It's a tough leave, because what I want to do, and this is hard. This is where the 1.0 comes in, because you don't really know what happens in free agency. There's rumors Matthew Stafford might go to the Raiders because of Tom Brady recruiting him. It's based on what we know now. They need a quarterback. I think it's time for Shedeur to go there. I think this has kind of been a connection that I've seen for a while. I'll go Shedeur.
I think that's fair game. One of these teams is going to take a chance on Shedeur Sanders as a top 10 quarterback prospect at the very least.
Yeah.
So I'll write that in. And now I got the Jets. Obviously, quarterback is in need with them moving on from Aaron Rodgers. Is there a world where Jackson Dart is in play here at 10? Yes, because especially in a really QB needy sort of year, names are going to fly up boards. Like GMs are really going to be looking for that third guy that they can take inside the top 10. I'm not comfortable doing that. With Abdul Carter sitting here, the slide is going to stop. I know that this isn't a bad edge room. You got Will McDonald, who's a pure pass rusher. They got Jermaine Johnson, who looks pretty good. I think Abdul Carter is actually underrated as a run defender. You can put him out there on early downs. This is too far for him to fall.
Yeah, I think it's a good fit. I think with Aaron Glenn being the defensive head coach that he is, I think that he goes out. I think Abdul Carter is a guy. I think the perfect comp for him is Micah. I think that he's a guy that you can build the defense around. I think it's going to be fun. I know you're not as high on him as some people are, but I think that that's a good pick. I like it. I like that fit with the Jets. At 8 now with the Panthers, this is where it kind of becomes a little interesting. I think the guy, you mentioned him a little bit before. I think I'm going to have to go Walter Nolan. I think D-line is a huge need for these guys.
I like it a lot. Walter Nolan is a really good player in both phases. I haven't completed up his eval yet, but based on what I saw at the Senior Bowl on his one-on-one rep film, I thought that this would be a really athletic guy who maybe gets blown off the ball a little bit against the run. Maybe he's playing on his back too much because you're trying all these crazy pass rush moves and you're losing the point of attack. And I kind of didn't see that. This is a really refined pass rusher. He gets to his counters in a hurry, and he is just the strongest guy on the field at all times. He's 290, so he's not going to be the most powerful guy. Double teams can drive him back, but in terms of just strength, you're not moving me one-on-one. I think Walter Nolan is absolutely fantastic. Now I've got the New Orleans Saints, and they need wide receiver bad. No Tedero McMillan on the board. It feels like the Saints are in a weird spot because they can never decide whether they actually want to win or not. They don't have the roster talent. They don't have the cap space to win now. So it's like, do you want to invest in being QB friendly or do you want to eat your vegetables a little bit? I'm going to go with Luther Burden. I think Luther Burden is a really good player. It's tough between him and Emeka Egbuka, but I think that Luther Burden is probably a little bit more prioritized by the league.
I like it. I did this in my mock draft. What are your thoughts? And we'll go Luther Burden because we're doing the alternate pick here. What are your thoughts on a guy like Tyler Warren going to the Saints with Kellen Moore?
I don't mind that at all because I think that people are just starting to arrive at how good Tyler Warren is. This is a player who is athletic. He's a fantastic blocker. He catches everything. Taysom Hill is getting up there in age, and I think Taysom Hill had a season-ending injury. Taysom Hill isn't going to be ready on week 1 next year. If my memory is serving me correctly, we're pretty far removed from that. But Tyler Warren kind of fits the Taysom Hill mold, but on all of the steroids. I would not hate that at all.
Yeah, I think he's a fun player. I think Kellen Moore's a creative guy too. I think that could be a fun fit, but I like Luther Burden. I think that's a good pick there. What's the deal with Michael Thomas? Is he a free agent now, or did he just retire or quit? Or
I think he's gone. He might technically be listed as a free agent. Let me look this up. What happened to Michael Thomas? What happened to Slam Boy?
Because then he got injured, and after his really good year, he got injured
again.
And he came back, and then I think he was injured again. And I think he just kind of fell off the face of the earth.
Wikipedia doesn't have him listed as a former receiver, but they don't have him listed as a free agent either. So I'm going to say he's out of the league.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. Maybe CTE caught up to him. Those slants, middle of the field, those linebackers like to pop. Safety's coming down on you. Watch out.
CTE in the upper body and the lower body and the mid body.
Yeah. Number 10 is the Bears. And as a Cowboys fan, this is kind of the first real concern about Ashton Genty going off the board. And I think that probably might be what you want me to do.
I think that's what they do here, but it's your pick, of course.
I hope they don't. I could totally see the Cowboys moving up to 10 or maybe up to 9 and doing something like that. I could honestly, yeah, I mean, I could see that. In my mock draft, I have him going James Pierce Jr. Might be a little early for him, though.
They do need offensive line as well. The Bears have a lot of needs, which
Yeah.
I'm really thankful for as a Packers fan.
They do need all line, but there's not really. I mean, Kelvin Banks. You know what? I like Kelvin Banks, and I actually really do. I like Kelvin Banks in Chicago. I really haven't thought about that. I like it a lot.
All right, I'll write that one in. I really do like the Kelvin Banks pick because you can play him at tackle and you can kick Braxton Jones in. And if that doesn't work, you can just switch it back out and you can play Kelvin Banks at guard. Mm-hmm. Now I've got the 49ers. And man, I don't know what to do with this pick immediately. They could definitely use D-line. Let's see who the best available defensive lineman is. I mean, you've got James Pierce Jr. sitting around. Put him beside Joey Bosa. On the interior, it's got to be defensive tackle, right? Do you go Kenneth Grant? You know what? The 49ers are always a team that feels like they're trying to do something, like they want to be a little bit ahead of the curve. They want to make the sneaky, the surprising pick. I'm going to go Derek Harmon from Oregon. This is a name to know. This is a certified first-round talent. Derek Harmon is not making it out of the first round. A very athletic, three-technique type of defensive tackle, but he plays the run pretty well as well.
Not a bad pick. I think being at 11 for the Niners, obviously we're not doing trades here, so who knows how that'll shake out. But I think they're a team that is just kind of praying for maybe a guy like Will Campbell. I don't think Will Campbell falls, or like a Walter Nolan. And Mason Graham most definitely probably won't fall, but even a Kelvin Banks potentially, like some of those guys. I think like I totally see Will Campbell being a Trent Williams. You know what I mean? Like I think that they are trying to they're kind of hoping and praying that one of those guys might fall to them, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's going to, but this is where my Dallas Cowboys come into fruition. This is where my Dallas Cowboys get back to it's our year, get back to Super Bowl caliber. May I introduce to you the most recent Heisman Trophy snub, Ashton Genty.
I've heard of him before. I hear he's a solid football player.
He's pretty good.
That's an easy A type of pick. No issues with that one. Now we got the Miami Dolphins at 13. Man, they could definitely use offensive line. Could probably use defensive interior as well. Let's see what we got available on the interior offensive line, because I think that that's what they want. And this is a team that needs an athletic guy. I'm not picking Jared Wilson this early, although he definitely does fit the bill. Although they've got their guy at center. So what can we do for defensive line? This team definitely needs to get tougher. I don't feel like Kenneth Grant is a fit with them. I don't want to. Oh, do I do the completely insane thing? Do I pick Darius Alexander, who's flying up draft boards? Do you know who Darius Alexander is?
I'm looking at it right now, but I can't say I'm familiar before this point.
He's a really athletic, pass-rushing defensive tackle. He was great at the Senior Bowl. The Dolphins like to take these kind of risks. You know what? We're going to do it.
All right. I love it. Let's do it.
Got to be ahead of the curve. If it actually happens, we'll look really smart.
Absolutely. And the 1.0, I mean, come on. Here's the Colts now. This is a team. Tight end is a huge need. Tyler Warren could be a potential really good fit. They need edge too. James Pierce Jr. sitting there. You got guys like Mike Green, who's flying up draft boards after his senior day. This is interesting. I think this is at this point. You kind of looked at like the Dolphins. You kind of looked at even the Bears. I mean, the 49ers for sure. Like a couple of these teams felt like they had their hands tied a little bit at this point in the draft. I feel like this is the Colts being here at 14. This is a team that's got an abundance of options. I think this is a good fit for Tyler Warren.
I completely agree. I love that pick. Next up, it's the Atlanta Falcons. And somehow, after all this time, after all the pass rushers that they've spent high picks on, they still really need a pass rusher. Could probably use wide receiver. Well, no, I don't think that they need wide receiver. Darnell Mooney's not too bad. They've got some guys on the bench. Let's see who we got available on the defensive line. It is one of the big strengths of this class. James Pierce Jr. sitting there. And I don't like this pick because it feels like it's what the Falcons do every single year. They draft the athletic 3-4 outside linebacker, and it never seems to work out. But they clearly have a type. James Pierce Jr. it is.
I like it. I like the value for him at 15. At 16 here, the Cardinals, a team that I don't even know. They just need relevance, I think. That's what their biggest need is right now. Probably offensive line.
Yeah.
Couple options here, maybe a D lineman if I don't know if Kenneth Grant fits the bill, but we got offensive line. You got guys like Josh Simmons. Help me with this. Armand Membu.
Yep.
I believe in your big board you have Membu higher than Josh, right?
Yes. Now Josh Simmons, I think, is probably the second best pass protector in this class. However, he's not a super athletic dude, and he is coming off a serious injury that's got a little bit of a hush-hushness to it. We don't know what his recovery timeline is like or if he's going to be the same player when he comes back. Just a little bit of a risk there with him.
That's Josh. That's
Josh Simmons, yep.
Yeah, there's always that guy that has some sort of injury that the casual person doesn't know about until draft day, and he just seems to fall. That could be Josh Simmons. I'm going to go with Armand Membu.
I like that pick a lot. Let's see. They have Paris Johnson Jr. out there at tackle, and he's a stud. I can't think of who's playing the other side for them. And Armand Membu's another player in this class that you can kick inside the guard if need be. So,
yeah,
no issue with that one. All right, the Cincinnati Bengals. If T. Higgins leaves, wide receiver is going to be a big need. Basically, the entire defense feels like it's a need. It's way too early for any linebacker. However, Jahdae Barron just sitting there, going to snap him up.
All right. I like it. I like it a lot. I can't say I actually have heard of this guy, though.
Jahdae Barron?
Yeah. Even
he
through
was
the playoffs and stuff.
Cornerback from Texas. You probably didn't hear about him a lot because his wide receiver was never getting targeted. He was arguably the most shutdown cornerback in college football. It's a guy who played the slot, kind of like a big nickel type of player as an underclassman. They kicked him outside. I was suspicious, and he really proved me wrong. This is a very good corner prospect.
There you go. All right. So this is a Seahawks team now here at 18 that could use some front seven and a front five on both sides of the ball. Front seven defensively and anybody really offensively, probably more interior than anything. Just saw Jason Peters retire. I can't say that he was much of an asset for him at this point in his career. When you look at it, though, Mike Green sitting there at the edge, that's probably maybe some might argue is best available. You got Will Johnson still hanging around. Interior O-line, I think Tyler Booker makes sense here as well. A little bit of a reach, though, at 18, but not saying it's something they can't do. But I think Mike Green would be a fun fit for Seattle.
Oh, I do have to ask, are you aware of the Mike Green off-field stuff?
No, what's this about now?
He's got 2 sexual assault cases against him, one in high school and one in college. He got kicked off the University of Virginia football team for it.
Really? Okay, so what are you saying? Is he even a first-rounder now?
That is really debatable. I don't want to say it's about how he interviews because it's not about how he interviews, but they're going to check that out and they're going to say, is this legit and how bad were these incidents? Obviously not condoning any form of sexual assault, but if he did some really messed up shit, he's going to fall down draft boards. If it's like, okay, we're willing to draft a bad person, if it's not going to be an issue again, I could still see him going in the first round because prior to that kind of coming out, he was flying up draft boards.
Is this like a legit thing? Because a lot of times we see this with professional athletes.
It was legit enough that he got kicked off the University of Virginia football team for it.
Okay. Well, on that note, I might have to go with Tyler Booker then. You think, is that too big of a reach there?
Not at all. I would be surprised. I don't want to say I'll be surprised if he makes it this far, but I'll kind of be surprised if he makes it this far.
Okay, let's do it. Tyler Booker, 18 to Seattle.
Now we got the Buccaneers. What do the Buccaneers need? Feels like they could use some interior offensive line, but, I mean, Tyler Booker's off the board. I'm not going to mess around with that. Wide receiver's good. Running back, you got your running back of the future. So it's just a very good offense overall. Tristan Wirfs at tackle is rock solid. So now you're looking defense. Maybe a second cornerback to play beside Zion McCollum. Who do we have available at corner? How is Will Johnson still sitting here? How did this happen? We're going to grab Will Johnson. Somehow Jahdae Barron is above Will Johnson on the board I'm looking at. That was terrible, but oh well.
Will Johnson, there you go. I don't hate it. I think Will Johnson, I can see Will Johnson at 17 over Jahdae Barron, but yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. 20, you got the Broncos, a young team, made the playoffs this year. They seem to have their quarterback of the future. I think there's an option here for them to go get their wide receiver of need. I think Emeka Egbuka could be a good fit. Do we like that?
I love that.
All right, let's do it.
Going to be a great fit in that offense. Pittsburgh Steelers. Do you maybe draft and stash Jackson Dart? I feel some shades of Kenny Pickett with that, so I want to stay away. Yeah. This is a team that needs wide receiver bad. George Pickens, I think, is a very good number 2. Hard to say if he's a number 1. It's a team with a really good defense. They could use corner. I'm not going to mess around with a corner right now. I think, unless I'm missing somebody, no, I'm going to take Matthew Golden here.
All right, let's do it. At 22, this is a position where I would love to go out and get a wide receiver. I think Emeka Egbuka would fit really nicely with these guys. Pair him up with Ladd McConkey, but obviously a run on wide receivers. The last 2 picks not available. So who do we go here now? You need maybe a real running back. J.K. Dobbins is there. Had some injury issues. I think he'll be good to go for this next year. I could be wrong. Tight end.
He should be.
Really kind of any weapon offensively, or do they go edge rusher? I think Mike Green may be the best talented guy. We talked about some of the off-field issues. Doesn't seem like something Jim Harbaugh messes around with. Other than that, you got Kenneth Grant still sitting there. He's more interior D-line. Other guys, Mikael Williams, Shamar Stewart probably. I do like where is he? I'm trying to find him. Where Nick Scorton? I think he's a good player too at this value. But I think
a lot of options here.
A lot of
good picks.
What are you feeling?
If it was me, I think I would probably go Omari and Hampton.
That's what I was thinking.
Your Khalil Mack replacement. I could see going Loveland at tight end. Loveland's still on the board, right?
Yeah, still on the board. And I wouldn't hate that Michigan pair up there. I kind of like Loveland.
All right. I'll write it in.
I think Loveland's
tight end.
I think he gets the tight end, a Michigan pair up. I think it's hard to reject that. I like it.
They were running Stone Smart out there as like their starter for a game. So
yeah,
you can't deal with that going into year 2. Now I got the Green Bay Packers. Oh, man. I think I know what's going to happen here. University of Georgia. Obviously, Brian Gutekunst is a big fan. Athletes. Brian Gutekunst is a big fan. Josh Myers. I really hope Brian Gutekunst is not a big fan because Josh Myers is a horrible starting center. We're going to go with Jared Wilson, center from the University of Georgia.
Jared Wilson. Okay.
I do think he's clear-cut center 1 in this class, and I do think he'll probably go round 1, but haven't watched all the tape out of him yet. We'll have to see.
I was saying, that's not bad. There's 3 defensive Georgia guys, Malachi Starks, Mikael Williams, and Jalen Carter all sitting there. I thought maybe that's the route you go, but you go a different Georgia guy. I don't hate it. You get the Vikings here now. Running back with an aging Aaron Jones. I don't think that's as big as a need as people might think. Obviously, that interior D-line, guard work, and the DB situation. I kind of like going and getting big at the D-line. I think Kenneth Grant could be a nice fit. I might go with that.
Going to be a good piece for Brian Flores to work with, definitely.
Yeah.
Whole new realm of possibilities for crazy stuff they can do with that defense. Houston Texans. You got to think that they need a number 2 wide receiver with Stephon Diggs almost certainly out of the building. This team's offensive line was a just complete and total disaster last year. I think it's got to be best available offensive lineman for me. You got Josh Simmons, but I don't want CJ Stroud to go through that again. And I want an interior guy as well because I think that's really where the problems were. They like their athletic guys on the offensive line. That's why they're starting Juice Scruggs. Gray Zabel. Out of North Dakota State, he's going to play guard at the next level. Really athletic, a great zone blocker. He's flying up board.
I like him.
Greg Zabel it is.
Yeah, I think Greg Zabel is a good player. I see it a lot. We get the Rams here. This is an interesting situation. This is a Rams is kind of they're kind of a questionable team. You got Matthew Stafford supposedly shopping trades. They wanted to trade Cooper Kupp at some point. We don't know what this identity might look like. We do know they're still going to have Sean McVay. They're still going to have a guy like Puka Nacua, a couple of cornerstones, some good defensive players. This could potentially be just let's draft the best available type guy. I'm kind of liking who do I like? I don't think they really need much front seven help. I think they got some young pieces there. I think it's an opportunity to potentially go get a guy. I think this is time for Josh Simmons to get off the board. I think they need some help up there.
They definitely need to get younger on offensive line. I don't mind that at all. Now I got the Baltimore Ravens. And you know what? I don't think that this is an overly hard pick. They got Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton did kind of move. Well, they moved him around a lot last year, and he was effective both in the slot and back deep at safety. There were times where this secondary was really, really rough, and they didn't have the athletes that they needed to run man coverage and that sort of thing. Malachi Starks has fallen way too far. He's my pick here.
I like it. The Lions. Here's the Lions team. Very disappointing postseason for them. A team, Aiden Hutchinson out for the majority of the year. Just a talented team all around. At 28, you got an option. Maybe you improve that offensive line. They have one of the better offensive lines in the league, I feel like.
Definitely.
So you could have maybe, I don't know, front seven help. I can't never have enough of those guys. I think a guy –
This is a tough one.
There's a couple options. I'm going to go with a guy. I know we've talked about this guy. You might not be as high on him as I potentially am. I think he's very athletic and very versatile, can be moved around. And I think he could potentially pose a nice athletic option on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson. I'm going to go Mikael Williams.
That was going to be my pick. I think he's the perfect fit in Detroit.
Let's do it.
Now we've got the Washington Commanders. This is a team that I think needs defensive line pretty bad. So naturally, I'm going to look at the defensive line class. We're going to see we've got available still. TJ Sanders hanging out there. Shamar Stewart. Man. And Mike Green, this level of talent. It's starting to get challenging to keep knocking them down the board here. But you know what? Both of these guys had really good Senior Bowls. I'm going to go with Shamar Stewart, who does not have the same off-field concerns.
Let's do it. The Bills just signed what's his name? Why is it leaving my head right now? Who's their wide receiver guy? Where'd it go? What's his name?
Their wide receiver guy?
Yeah.
Who they signed? Like they restructured?
They didn't know they just signed him. Khalil Shakir.
Oh, they extended Khalil Shakir?
Yeah, like a 5-year deal. Yeah.
Oh, well, it's good that they got that done early. He's a stud.
Yeah, no doubt. That's my name. So that's who I was searching for, but could use a little bit of help. So you could see the Bills go out and potentially get a guy like him. Otherwise, front seven defense is never a bad option either. A couple good players out there. I feel like they've got a good run game. It's an interesting one. Wide receivers, I feel like are a bit of a stretch at this point. Let's try a guy like Jalen Walker. How do we feel about Jalen Walker?
I don't mind that at all. I think that they can use help in the front seven, and Jalen Walker is really versatile. Played a lot of off-ball at Georgia, but he can obviously get after the passer as well. That's probably where you're going to play him at the next level, but can't really go wrong.
It's a hard position for them there.
Now, we got the Kansas City Chiefs, number 31. And this is a team that I think has an underrated amount of needs. They definitely need juice in the wide receiver room. Running back situation, I think, is absolutely abysmal. Man, is Omarion Hampton still here?
Yeah.
With all those needs available, though, do I really want to spend it on a running back? I think that they need juice on the edge, definitely. I like what they've got in
George Karlaftis. Abysmal offensive line performance. That's the hard thing I look at.
Yeah, but okay, so in that game, Creed Humphrey did not allow a pressure. You lock in Creed Humphrey. Trey Smith had a really, really good regular season, even though he's more of a run blocker. And Joe Tooney, I think he's on contract for last year. He's never played left tackle before in his life. They kicked him out there midseason. He is a career guard. You slide him back inside to guard, and he's having, a borderline all-pro caliber year. So let me take a look at tackles real quick. We got Josh Connerly. He got bulldozed at the Senior Bowl. Oh, man. Ariante Ursary is a guy who, if you want your Joe Tooney replacement, but I'm not super high on Ursary. I think Omarion Hampton is too good to let fall into the second round. I think maybe you address tackle in free agency because they definitely need a starting caliber tackle, but he's just too talented.
I like Omarion Hampton. And then the Super Bowl champs, the Philadelphia Eagles, a team doesn't really seem like they need many more weapons. A team that seems like they've got a pretty good offensive line. A team that for sure has a really good pass rush. Where do we go? They went two corners last year in the first round, back to back, with Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. Maybe you look into the safeties. That could be a potential position. Otherwise, do they get depth and look for a guy? I like Xavier Watts. There could be a little bias, but I don't think he's a first-round guy.
You know what this team likes to do, and I'm obviously not telling you how to make your pick, is they really like their defensive line depth. And Howie Roseman, excellent GM of the Philadelphia Eagles, is not afraid to pick positions that he doesn't need immediately and just let him develop.
I don't mind that at all. I really like Nick Scorton, but, I mean, what better thug to fit Philadelphia than Mike Green?
Love it.
Let's do it. Mike
That's
Green.
Mock draft.
We can't let him fall out. Can't let him fall out of the first round. I love it.
Perfect culture fit in Philadelphia.
There we go. How about that?
So there we go.
Should we recap quick? Let's do it. Let's recap.
I would love to. You want me to read it off? Because I got it up.
Yep.
All right. Number 1 overall pick to the Titans, Travis Hunter, cornerback, wide receiver. Second to the Cleveland Browns, Cam Ward, quarterback, Miami. Third to the New York Giants, Will Campbell, offensive line, plays tackle, might kick him into guard, LSU. Patriots, wide receiver, Arizona, Tedero McMillan. Jaguars, defensive tackle, played a little bit of nose as well, Mason Graham, Michigan. 6 to the Raiders, quarterback, Shadur Sanders, Colorado. Obviously, everybody knows all about him. Number 7 to the Jets, edge rusher, Abdul Carter, Penn State, converted off-ball guy, played pretty much all edge his junior season. Number 8 to the Panthers, defensive tackle, Walter Nolan, Ole Miss. Number 9 to the New Orleans Saints, wide receiver, Luther Burden, Missouri, guy who plays both outside and in the slot. Number 10 to the Bears, tackle, but they might kick him into guard as well. You can say that about pretty much every tackle in this class. Kelvin Banks Jr. out of Texas. Niners at 11, defensive tackle, Derek Harmon, Oregon. Dallas Cowboys with pick number 12, running back Ashton Genty, Boise State. Heisman snub. Number 13 to the Dolphins, doing their Dolphins thing, pass rushing defensive tackle, Darius Alexander, Toledo. 14, the Indianapolis Colts, tight end Tyler Warren, Penn State. Played a little bit of quarterback for them as well because he's an absolutely insane football player. 15 to Atlanta, edge rusher James Pierce Jr. 16 to the Cardinals, Armand Membu, tackle, might play guard, Missouri. Bengals, Jahdae Barron, cornerback, Texas. 18 to the Seahawks, Tyler Booker, guard, Alabama. Buccaneers at 19, Will Johnson, cornerback, shouldn't have fallen that far, Michigan. Broncos, Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver. Steelers, Matthew Golden, wide receiver, Texas. Colston Loveland to the Chargers at 22. I have no order for how I'm reading these off. Tight end, Michigan, Colston Loveland to the Chargers. Jared Wilson, the Georgia center, at 23 to the Packers. Vikings take Kenneth Grant, Michigan's nose tackle, at 24. The Texans go to North Dakota State to select Gray Zabel, tackle there. He's going to play guard or center in the NFL. Josh Simmons to the Rams at 26. He's a tackle, injured right now. Malachi Starks, safety, to the Ravens at 27. Michael Williams, perfect culture fit for Detroit at 28. He's going to play the run. Back-to-back edge rushers. Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M to the Commanders. Bills take linebacker, edge rusher Jalen Walker out of Georgia. Super Bowl runner-ups, Kansas City Chiefs, Omarion Hampton, the running back out of North Carolina. And finally, the perfect culture fit for Philadelphia, who was also first off the board in our worst fan bases mock draft, Mike Green, edge rusher, Marshall. And that's our 1.0.
Love it. Absolutely love it. I think this is a pretty solid draft, Elson. I don't know about you, but I'm here for it. I think.
Oh, you had it up the whole time?
I just pulled it up.
Okay.
Probably about pick 20.
Okay.
You were,
Okay.
I was once you said you were on the mock draft, I was like, I should do that too, just to see. And so I was kind of following along. I was like, I'm going to screenshot this and let's get it on the screen. Kudos. I'm very impressed by my turnaround time as a producer right there. I mean, that was
just reading and reacting in real time.
Absolutely. But yeah, not bad. Not bad for a 1.0. Excited for the 2.0 coming up in a month from now. And then our 3.0 coming out later than the Wednesday before the NFL draft. Let's go, Elson.
So excited. It's so great to finally be watching the All-22 and these guys just grinding it out 24/7. This is awesome.
Absolutely. That's what we got. That's the Ripper Podcast, episode 67 of the show. AB, he was a lot of fun to talk to earlier today. Appreciate him coming on to talk. Congrats. Always. Have a fantastic week. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys. Both of them.